How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a trade recap from March 18th, Thursday, where I took 4 trades. I went 3 for 4. And the cool thing about this video is the very first trade was a loser, which sometimes can cause a little bit of chaos. And then I happened to follow that with 3 wins in a row, and I ended the day green and made $1,081. And I know it's a trade recap. Everybody likes the live trading. I try my best, but to be honest, talking and trading at the same time is very difficult, especially when scalping, focusing on those really short-term moves. And when the first trade that I take off the open is a loss and I really want to focus to try to take really good trades after that, incredibly hard to do. So I will do my best to get more live trading videos up, but there will definitely be a combination of both on my channel. So now let's talk about the SPY and the Qs and kind of what was happening coming into the morning of the 18th. So as you can see, on the 17th, SPY had a very nice candle. Took out the red candle prior, looked like it had a chance to continue to go higher. And on the morning of the 18th, it gapped down and it was giving majority of it back. So just going to show a lot of misdirection. There's not a ton of follow through. It is still very strong. I mean, this just came from 374, but knowing that that has been a big move, and it felt like it was getting a little tired up here and possibly due for a pullback. And rather than being biased about what something should do, just trying to trade around the technicals or at least get a feel for what it should do based on the technicals. So the main level that I was looking at was prior day's low. Gets below that. This looks like it had some downside room and maybe gets to the 9 EMA. If it loses the 9 EMA, who knows, maybe it gets the 20 SMA. So that 393.30 was the major technical level that I was looking at on SPY. And now looking at the Qs, and these have obviously been a little bit more beat up than the SPY because it's not trading close to all-time highs, but similar to SPY, had a very nice day the day prior, strong move off the short-term moving averages, and then coming in on the 18th, it was giving a lot of that move back. So the major level that I was looking at was prior day's low, 315.68, and also knowing that if it lost that low, it was simultaneously going to be losing some of the short-term moving averages, which sometimes can show a change in direction. So if it gets below prior day's low and loses the 9 and loses the 20, it felt like there was some downside room. And as far as how far down, I have absolutely no idea. Nobody has any idea. But in order for something to start that could possibly get worse, it has to lose these basic levels first. And then even after that, it's still kind of a day-by-day process. So that's what I saw on the SPY and the Qs. And now to get into Tesla. So the day prior, very nice bullish candle. Got back above the 9 EMA, back above the 20 SMA. And even though the market was weak and Tesla was gapping down, it was not giving up as much of yesterday's move. So I really had no idea which way this was going to go. And just like I always talk about, the levels that I liked was prior day's high, 703.73 gets above that. Does look like there's some upside room. Prior day's low, 651.01. Pretty big range, so I wasn't expecting any one of those to get taken out really quick, but just knowing where they are. And then pre-market high, 692.79, and pre-market low, 679. Okay, so here's the first trade on Tesla, and the thing that I have really been trying to do is just let things do what they have to do, shake out off the open, try to find an opening range, and then when it decides to take out that opening range, that's kind of the area that I want to give it a chance, rather than take super quick patterns off the open, because especially in the current market, the super quick patterns, I feel like you get chopped up. Yes, sometimes they work, but if I were to take 10 trades, I feel like a good chunk of those come back and I take really fast losses. Tesla had the push higher, clearly showing some weakness, had a few candles consolidating under VWAP, low of day is 681, pre-market low is 679, and I end up getting short 4 puts right there, right around that 682, trying to anticipate the low of day break, and if it broke low of day, thinking that maybe this had a chance to get to pre-market low. Well, I got filled at 1440, and then right here. So I wanted that to go very quick, and it's clearly starting to go against me. And then when this gets back above VWAP, I get out of the trade because I felt like if this gets back above 685, maybe it could go to high a day. But that candle is pretty crazy. So big 2-point move up, big 2-point move down, and it is just not following through to the downside on this candle like I wanted to see it pretty quick. Tesla's a big mover. I'm not trying to freak out every single time it goes against me, but it's back above the 9 EMA, gets back above 684. A lot of buying just came in, and as it gets up to 685, I get out just to be safe because you never know. It has a history of sometimes going towards the low and then bouncing, and who knows how far it can go. Sometimes it goes back to highs and then even gets above them and then can trend up all day. So I was in that trade for just over 1 minute and ended up taking a really quick loss, which sucks. But the one thing that has helped is not having my P&L on the screen. I know I've mentioned it a couple times, but just not really knowing what I was down. I mean, I can obviously see I got in at 1440, I got out at 1307, so it's a decent loss, but not visually staring at a big red number didn't make me feel like I had to start going crazy like it can do sometimes and can trigger that over trading and the emotions. Took the quick loss, but I'm not going to give up. I still want to see if there's other setups. And as Tesla gets back towards the lows, I see this as another opportunity to go short and realize that maybe I just got shooken out. So I end up going short again right there. 4 puts. I ended up getting filled at 14.12. And now what I want to see is this break 682, get to low a day 681, break 681, also realizing that pre-market low is below. And right there, the tape really started to speed up. So got through 682, which is good. Kind of hanging around 681. Sometimes Tesla can bounce off the low. I just want to see that break. Gets below 681, which is great. And now I'm clearly in the money. And I feel like it finally chose a direction. So got a really nice move. And now I just want to see, can this break 679? And if so, the moment it does, I need to get out of it. But right now I am up on the contracts, so I don't want to let these go red. I want to try my best to just let this trade be break even worst case, but still give it one more second to see if it can break that. Has a little bit of trouble, comes back to 680, and I end up getting out of the trade right there for a nice win. And then, of course, look, it does break pre-market low, so it's very hard. Tesla is very difficult to trade, or at least it's very difficult to be patient with it. That's why I've kind of come to the conclusion that the best thing for me, and especially on my really big losing day not that long ago, anytime that it just has the quick move, I'm much better off just taking those profits, because anytime I try to be patient, I swear that's the time that it does not go. And then every time I'm quick, that's usually when it does. But the thing that's consistent between all of it is every single time I just take the quick move, I'm usually in a good spot. So now going into the third trade, it feels like Tesla finally chose a direction. It broke low of day, it broke pre-market low. Now I just want to see, is there some sort of clean flag pattern that I can scalp? So really looking for some sort of green candle. I do not want to just continue to chase red candles. I like for the move to happen and then some sort of green candle in between to use that as a flag. So right now, just seeing that this is nice. It looks like it's setting up. That low area is right around 676 of the green candle. And then also knowing that low of day is 675.65. If it breaks those levels, I feel like there's a scalp there. And as it comes towards the lows, I end up going short right there again. 4 contracts filled at 1543, and I got the 675 puts. And then here is just where going back and evaluating. This is where sometimes I can be guilty of being a little patient, but I also try my best to trust the trend. So this did not go as quick as I wanted it to see, but Tesla just broke out of its range. So right here, it does bounce a bit against me, and I knew that if this gets over 679, I'm going to have to get out of this. But just looking at that chart visually and saying, okay, the sellers have been in control. It did have a big move down. It is below the 9 EMA. So just trying to give this a minute or two to develop. So that quick move up got rejected, and now it's back towards the lows. So that's 676, 675. If it ends up breaking that, it looks like this has some downside room. So I want to see 676 drop, and it drops right there. Clear selling pressure. Finally broke that flag low, and now as this starts to speed up, that's going to be my moment to just get out of this trade. And the farther Tesla goes down, the quicker I want to get out, because I know that eventually it's going to be extended and it will bounce. And that was a very nice move through 675, and then I just quickly come out of that and got a $1.50 move on the contracts in about 2 minutes. And that's why being super quick with Tesla is very important to me, because look at that. Washes out to right around 673 and then instantly has a 3-point bounce, which I don't want to be a part of. So just realizing that something I can always improve on is that the moment it starts to speed up, I have to consistently get out, where sometimes I can be a little patient. I get that 1, 2, 3-point move, and then I think this has a chance to go lower. Let me hold it. And then every time I do that, it usually comes back on me. And then when I let a trade go from green to red, I can be really guilty of holding it and letting things get bad. And now the 4th trade on Tesla. So that had a pretty big move back into the 9 EMA, but continues to get rejected at the pre-market lows and then showing some weakness. So a lot of selling pressure right there. And I'm trying to do better with getting good entries. So if this breaks that 675 area, I feel like maybe it has a chance to get back to low of day. And then I just want to obviously continue to take the quick move when it starts to speed up. So I have the 675 puts loaded, but showing some weakness, starting to look a bit like a flag pattern. And then as it takes out 676, I end up getting short right there, 4 contracts filled at 1553. So it gets through 675, starts to speed up. So got a pretty nice move. And in my mind, I was thinking that this could probably get to low of day, but I'm glad that I wasn't stubborn because it gets right to 674, a little bit of buying pressure. And as it starts to bounce, I just get out of the trade. So that was a really quick flag pattern that honestly I thought had a chance to get to low of day. And if low of day was going to break, probably go a little lower. But when it got to 674 and it bounced, I'm glad that I wasn't stubborn and I didn't hold it and I just got out of it for a small win, because this pullback right here would have been a really quick loss. And then having known that I had a few winners in a row and then I lost again, maybe that could have triggered some over trading. So overall, pretty happy with that quick scalp. So those are the 4 trades on Tesla. And just to do a quick recap of all of it, I feel like the first trade was okay. Didn't go in my favor, got back above VWAP, and I cut it. I felt like that was a good loss because it could have got back to high a day. And had I held it, that would have been a huge loss to start the day. So taking a quick loss to start, which didn't feel good. And then the other trades felt like I took decent entries. I ended up being a little patient with that flag pattern, but sometimes giving Tesla a minute is what's needed to develop. Also vice versa, if I give it too long, that's where those big losses can come from. And then ended up just taking the quick moves. Every time it started to flush out, take the quick profits, and then because of that, ended the day green. And now to go check out the portfolio, ended up making $960 on the 675 puts and $122 on the 680 puts to be up $1,081 on the day. And 4 trades is right around that number of trades for me, where if I continue to trade, there's a really good chance that I could give back profits. So even though it was only about 35 minutes into the day, I ended up calling it. Appreciate you watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.